That's why it's called no bad parts, because even these things that we think are harmful to us, who drive the behaviors and impulses and reactions that we're trying to get rid of, those parts were there as as a self-protective mechanism. When you, namely as a child, couldn't deal with whatever was going on, those things kind of developed as a response to that, as a way to keep you safe from whatever it is, whatever struggle was going on at the time. And the problem is that they're frozen in them, that they learned these lessons that were helpful in childhood, but those lessons are now not helping us, or they're causing more destruction or harm than good. Right. And so you think if as a child you didn't have a avenue when things were going bad, you couldn't talk to your parents, you couldn't make yourself heard, you couldn't yell out. And so you learn to suppress your emotions. In that moment, that's a safety mechanism. It's keeping you safe. It's keeping you alive. It's keeping the focus subconsciously off your parents being quote unquote bad parents. Because we can't do anything about that. We're too vulnerable and alone as children, so there's nothing we can do. So as a way to protect you from this reality that your environment was not what it needed to be, a lot of times that turns inward. And now we think there's something wrong with me. I did something wrong. I should keep quiet, right? It's dangerous to express myself. And so how that manifests in later life is the people-pleasing behavior or the not asking for help, right? And that's just one example of one part, right? You could have this one part that felt that way as a kid, unsafe, couldn't speak up, and now that part continues to try and help you through those same lessons as an adult, even though now you have the ability, right? When you sink down and work with that part, you recognize like, hey, I'm in charge in here. There's an adult now up here, and that adult can handle expressing themselves, asking for what they want, saying no when that is needed, right? And so all these little parts that existed to protect us are now, in one way or another, if not harming us directly, then at least preventing us from being our true highest self. And so the whole game, as far as IFS is concerned, is to continuously, over a long space of time with, potentially dozens of these different parts or inner children, going in there and doing that work of being the adult and treating them the same way that you would a child, right? Whether it's your own child or someone you're taking care of, right? The same way you'd speak to that child with empathy and compassion and, kind of taking it easy and not being overly tough on them. All those same ways that you would express these things to a child, we have to do individually with each one of these parts to let them have their story told, to remind ourselves, the adult, the true self, I can handle this. Whatever they put in front of me, I can handle this. And it's not about me. It's not about protecting the adult me right now because that adult is okay. It's about going back and making that part, that inner child, feel safe and heard and validated, and to let them know that I'm in here also now able to protect them and that their job that they did so wonderfully, right? How would you talk to a kid about this? You would tell them, you did such a beautiful job protecting me, right? Thank you so much for everything that you've done, but now I don't need you. Now you can go play, you can go enjoy yourself, you could turn your attention to other more important things because I'm in here and I can protect us from those moments where people are maybe aggressive towards us or where I feel exposed by being vulnerable, right? In those moments, me, the adult self, is going to do the protecting, and I don't need you, child self, part self, right? I don't need you to do it anymore, even though I'm so appreciative of all the time that you've done. And then having that conversation over and over and over again. Some parts, in my experience, my very short experience, admittedly, some parts, you just need that one conversation, and then you just feel that release, like a muscle, like a knot that's been kind of massaged away, and instantly they release and they're like, okay, I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to hold this part up anymore. And then they're off, right? Wherever they're turning their focus to next. And some parts, it's only been a few weeks, but I turn to almost every day and I work with them. And as the book showcases, you talk to them and you tell them, this is not your only chance, right? For things to get better. I'm going to come back here as many times. Again, thinking of a child, how would you speak and help a child with this? You'd say, no matter how many times you feel fear, I'm going to come back right here and I'm going to be here and I'm going to tell you the exact same things that I'm telling you now, which is you're safe. I've got this. You don't need to hold up this part anymore, and you're free to go to wherever your attention goes next, right? Thank you for your help, but it's my turn now. Right, and as we do that over and over and over again, the hope, and from my very short experience with it, what I've seen in action is that those parts now no longer need to prop that part up, and can just kind of relax and release, as we've spoken about for the last year here, from the untethered soul, right? This idea of relax and release into anything that happens, because you know that you can handle it, and your inner children are now starting to trust us as we do this work. So that's kind of like the quick end of IFS in very untechnical terms. He explains it much differently, but that's how I've kind of processed it and how I'm working to integrate it.